Hello everyone, this is Megha Singh. I hope you all are doing well. So let's start with a topic that is themed second of cross 11th war history, its writing and city life. So in this one we will discuss about city life, like city life begin in Mesopotamia and all those various things at the beginning of that time would happen and thereafter. So we will discuss city life. So let's just move on to the question and answer like we usually do. So let's jump into the questions. Here is the timeline, just go through it. I may say that go through the timeline first and then read the chapter and then come to this discussion part. So that timeline and the chapter reading you have to do by your own. I'm discussing the questions, so just focus on it. First is why do we say that it was not natural fertility and high level of food production that were the causes of early urbanization? So, it is often said that natural fertility and high level of food production were the causes of early urbanization. Because there are various reasons. First one is like natural fertility encourages settled life and agricultural production. Then it paved the way of animal husbandry. Then fertility of the soil was also helpful in beginning of new occupation, as well as flourishing trade and commerce is also another major factor for urbanization. Then development of art of writing and administration played a very critical role in development of urbanization. So these point you can quote in this one. Then second question is which of the following were necessary condition and which on which the causes of all the urbanization and which would you say were the outcome of growth of cities. So these are the one you have to differentiate between them. So I would say there are necessary conditions for urbanization like highly productive agriculture as well as water transport, division of labor, and then these are necessary for urbanization. Then causes of early urbanization was the lack of metal and stones and use of shields, the military power of the king that made labor compulsory. And what are the outcome of the growth of cities like efficient transport system and trade and services developed. Then third is why were mobile animal herder not necessarily a threat to town life? Cause of mobile animal herder were required to exchange ghee, metal tools, grains, and etc. So they were not a threat to town life. Then fourth one is why would the early temple have been much like a houses? Because early settlers began to build temples at selected spot in their villages, and the earliest known temple was a small shrine made up of unbaked bricks. So these early temples were much like a house because they were small in size. They used to be an open courtyard around which rooms were constructed, as well as temples for the residents of various god. Temples also had their outer wall going uh, in and out at a regular interval, so which no ordinary building ever had. So these are look like a house. Then fifth one is of the new institution that came into being once city life had begun, which would have depended on the initiative of the king. So temple, trade, seal making, sculpture, and the art of writing were the new institution that came into being the beginning of the city life because these institutions depend on the initiative of the king. The sixth is what do ancient stories tell us about the civilization of Mesopotamia? So, ancient stories of Mesopotamia are the valuable source of information. As per these stories, Mesopotamia is situated between two rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates. So, Mesopotamia was one of the advanced civilization of its time. I mean, its society was divided into three classes like upper class, middle class, and lower class. So, people belonging to upper class led a life full of comforts in luxury and enjoyed special privilege. I mean, agriculture was the main occupation of the people, so their life was normally prosperous. Religion was an important part of their life. Religion, people worshipped many gods and goddesses. So Samas was their main god, and it was the sun. Zekuret was the name given to the Sumerian temple. Then, according to another description from the Bible, so according to the Bible, the flood was meant to destroy all form of life on earth. However, God chose a man Noah to ensure that life could continue after devastating the flood on earth. So Noah built a huge boat in ark He took pair each of all known species of animal and bore on the boat the arks which survived the flood. And when other things were destroyed by the flood, his boat remained safe along with all the species. So this began a new life on the earth. So there was a similar striking story in Mesopotamian traditions where the principal character was called Zeusudra or Utnapishtim. So this you can write. Even very short type of question can be asked like where is Mesopotamia? So Mesopotamia is in the Republic of Iraq. I mean it is situated between two world famous rivers like Euphrates and Tigris. Then, for which reason Mesopotamia River is well known? It is well known for development of city life, rich literature and mathematics, as well as like when and where did archaeological work begin in Mesopotamia, first of all. So you can write begin in 1840. Then meaning of the word Mesopotamia, you get like you can write it's Mesopotamia derived from two words Greek word Mesos and Potamus. So Mesos means the middle and Potamus means river. That's where you can write about what does the Bible depict flood. So you write that was the flood was meant to destroy all form of life on earth. And however, God chooses a human being now to ensure that life must go on after the flood. Then these things you can write about. So that's for today. I'll discuss the question of discussion. Now in the next lecture I will talk about next chapter. So thank you.